Got a very strong voice.
I've been told I've got a head for radio.
Oh, don't. That's the worst thing someone can say.
I'm joking, yeah. I think Jeff Fennick, my old coach, actually used to keep me
Oh,
humble.
really?
But yeah, no, look, so it's been right now, I'm really, the little boy in Tasmania grew up with posters on his wall. I'm interviewing them guys now. Like literally, I spoke to Danny Green, one of the best fighters Australia. He just ran me them because he's getting a table for the Greenie for the Terence Crawford event, and we were we're teammates with Jeff Fennick, and I said, man, he's doing a good job. So man, I'm ticking off all the guys on my poster. Like I'm interviewing them. Literally,
I love that.
Yeah,
I love hearing this when people are actually living out a dream. Because there's so many people that like will create these dreams and then they just go impossible.
Not for me. I'm different. I'm made of different stuff. If I wanted to take over the world, I'd take over the world.
I love
I'd be Putin or Trump tomorrow.
Do you know, this is the thing about successful people that I have learnt. You're all delusional.
Yeah, you got to be.
And you got to be delusional, yeah.
People got to laugh at you when you're younger. Like I told kids I was going to represent Australia when I was in fucking like grade 2. And they go, you're an idiot, like, you know what I mean? Like, I've done it, you know what I mean? And you know Oscar De La Hoya when you mate, Roy Jones Jr. I'm friends with these guys now. I've got them on FaceTime. I get them on my podcast, which is Strictly Boxing. So cool. It's crazy, you know what I mean?
So
it's
cool.
just like
we're rolling.
Yeah, you're right.
We're rolling. Okay. Is Tassie so it's Grant Tassie Brown, or is Tassie is Tassie like a?
That's my.
Is that your nickname?
It's my nickname, but like most people just call me Tassie.
So Grant is a bit formal.
Grant is very formal.
That's what Mum would have called you.
Even my partner calls me Tassie. Like it's crazy. So, but yeah, Mum's Grant, Dad was Grant. But Grant Tassie Brown, started by the legendary trainer Johnny Lewis, the greatest of all time in Australia history. He named me the Tassie Devil, and then it got cut to Tassie. The Premier of Tasmania calls me Tassie. The Mayor, everyone just knows me as Tassie. Whoever from all walks of life, it's Tassie.
Okay, now let's get into it because I want to know about your career. Like, how did you start boxing? Like, where did this all come from?
Yeah, so father and grandfather are both legendary fighters in Tasmania. The Brown name in boxing is very big. So my grandfather had 4 brothers. They all boxed and they were great. I think in the 1940s and that, like they were really good. My grandfather Lenny and Uncle Bobby, they were the 2 best out of them. And then my father, Dennis, in the second generation. So growing up, the talk at the dinner table was just boxing. It was Muhammad Ali, it was Sugar Ray Robinson, it was Joe Louis, it was the legends of the game. So that's all I ever heard. And so, Dad taught me when I was 5 the basics. But because I had very bad asthma as a kid early, he didn't really think I would be a boxer. So I played footy. Had a crack at footy, a little ruck rover, a little on-baller. But then I got to the point where I was quite small. I was like 45 kilo, and Dad said, look, my asthma's getting a bit better. And he said, well, try out boxing now. 6 months later, I had my first amateur fight. Yeah, so, and for the age of 13, I won it. Won my first, lost my second, won my first. The age of 13, I ducked the water. That was it. It was boxing. That was it. I was training like a professional, even at the amateur, because I was up 5 a.m. before the school bus running 10K in Tasmanian winter.
At what age?
13, 14. Like
you're running 10K?
Yeah, I just had that mentality.
By yourself?
Yeah, up 5 a.m. before.
Who taught you this though?
No one. No, it was in my head. I just thought, like my dad guided me in that a lot, but I just thought, look, if I want to be the best, I've got to train harder than anyone else, because I was probably, when you got people that I think I wasn't the most skillful fighter, but I had that work ethic and I would outwork you. I just wouldn't be beat. So I just had that mentality. So when kids were going to smoke after school or smoke pot or to go to the shopping centre, hang out and just do kid shit, I was getting 2 buses out to the west of Hobart to go to boxing training. So I ran before school, and after school, see you guys, I'm out here to go and box, because that was my life. And you get called, oh, you're a loser, you're whatever this, you're not one of the cool kids. But I knew one day my hard work would pay off, and it did. When I won multiple titles and when I represented Australia at the age of 19, when I got my green and gold tracksuit, was the pinnacle for me to be based at AOS. I knew now that all the hard work, all them days eating tuna and rice, sitting at McDonald's with my friends, but got my mum's little tub of food she made for me, And I knew the early nights and staying away from parties and even staying away from girls at an early age, boxing would come through for me. So when I got handed my Australian tracksuit, I thought, if you don't do one more thing in your life, you've done this. I did do a lot more after that, but first of all, it was representing my country. So
how do you navigate the peer pressure?
Never had peer pressure.
Or okay,
I don't know what it means. So I'm a leader. I've always been a leader from day one. When we were playing Indians and Cowboys as kids, everyone wanted to be the cowboy. I was the Indian. I always go against the grain, and I still do it now. I always do what I want to do, always will. And so peer pressure to me is a cop-out, and I don't believe in it. Like when I teach my students now, be a leader, not a follower. Be a lion, not a sheep. You know what I mean? Like, don't go with the flow. Go against the flow. Be your own person. So I've always been like that. So peer pressure to me, don't understand the word. That's me. I've always been very mentally strong.
So what, after, your teenage years and just getting into it, understanding discipline and I guess Dad was probably a big teacher of discipline for you.
He was, because he wasn't. So he said, don't do what I done, son. Like Dad, unfortunately ruined his career by drinking, getting in pub fights, knocking out coppers, going to jail. And my dad said, don't go down the same path as me, son. I ruined my career, but you are different. And that's it. He said, don't drink, don't smoke, don't gamble, don't hang around pubs. I never did. Still haven't drank now, and I'm 47. Never drank, never smoked, never touched nothing, never touched weed. Don't gamble. And he said, look, don't go down the same path I did, and I didn't. So he was a big guide for me. And then my mum just being the backbone of everything, just being the rock and everything, you know what I mean? So look, I was blessed to the GOAT of parents, mum and dad. Really just, I miss them very much, but just unbelievable. And then when I turned professional, I moved up to Sydney to train under Jeff Fennick and Johnny Lewis and Billy Hussein, three of the best ever. Yeah. And I was up there, I was sleeping on a mattress on the floor at Costa's massage room because I slept in the PCYC at Newtown, the only person to do it because I didn't have any accommodation for me. Yep. So 18-year-old kid, I'm sleeping on the floor at a gym in Newtown, Sydney.
And what were your hopes at that point? What did you know that was short term? Are you?
Yeah, I did. They finished. I got me a place at a pub, sponsored by a few old knock-around blokes that own that place. They used to sponsor me in Marrickville. But I mean, look, I was just I don't know. For me, it might not have been ideal for everyone, but back then there was no. I'm talking like 96, 97. There was no phones, no mobiles. I never had a license, a bugger of money. But I was there punching on with the best fighters in Australia, sparring every day. Nadal Hussein, Victor Chinyan, Labmore Nadu, the best of the best. Even Costas, who I done 3 rounds of me one day, 3 rounds the next. And Tim was only 3 years old. So I'm there with the best of the best. I'm living my dream, you know what I mean? And happiest days of my life, you know what I mean? Like, just unbelievable back then. And I'm blessed to be part of that team. And yeah, and then obviously after the Olympics in 2000, which I just barely missed, I turned pro under Jeff Fennick. Okay. Sydney 2000 was my goal. I represented Australia in 99, but Sydney 2000 was my goal, but I just missed out. So I turned pro under Jeff and had my pro debut in 2001 and in Sydney. And all the pub that I was living at all got behind me, supported me, and I went out to Liverpool and bet a guy in his hometown. That was my debut, and I thought, all right, you're a pro. I woke up 1-0. Thought that's a good sound. That sounds good, and that was it. I mean, again, little boy from Tasmania, being able to say you trained with Johnny Lewis, Jeff Fennick, Billy Hussein, Dave Birchall, like some of the greats we've ever had, and it's just amazing, So
that's amazing. What's the biggest lesson you've learnt in life? Because you're a podcaster too.
Yeah.
So what's the biggest lesson, whether it's from people that have spoken to you that you've had podcasts with, or just life, dad, mum, what is the biggest lesson that you've learned?
Careful who you trust and fake friends. Yeah. People will be with you through the good, but not the bad. Everyone's with you when you're winning in life, whether you're winning the fight and getting carried out by the crowd with a belt on TV. They're with you when you're doing well and you've got a nice car and a nice looking girlfriend and you're getting into clubs for free and you're bringing your entourage with you. You're not lining up. You're into anywhere in Australia. You can do what you want when you want. But when you go through any adversity, or you might hit a low, or you might lose a fight, or you might lose a loved one, like lose your parents. You learn who's there. You learn who's there, and I've learned a lot of lessons in my life. And most of all, it's about trusting the wrong people and be careful who you let in your circle, and don't put faith in anyone but yourself. Literally, you are on your own. You're born on your own. You'll die on your own. That's the only sure fact of life, is you're going to die. So doesn't matter who your friends are, doesn't matter about anyone. You're on your own at one stage, so you've got to be big enough to handle that. So I learned a lot of lessons the hard way, maybe the stronger person. Now I can't be fooled. I'll see straight through anyone. Don't try and bullshit me. So that's the way it is, man. It made me strong. Like, you got to go through the hard lessons in life to realise that. But I mean, I'm how you say? I'm a street guy. I'm a street-minded guy, but I can mix with anyone. I've sat down with billionaires, literally, and I've sat down with a guy who just done 10 years jail. I can mix with anyone. So I know all sorts of life. So if you're trying to bullshit me, you got no chance. Yeah.
Did you have a close relationship with Mum as well?
Mum was my everything. Mum was my rock. No one knew me like her. No one. She knew what I was thinking. If I tried to hide, if I was having a bad day for whatever reason, she'd see straight through it. She goes, "What's wrong, son?" Even on the phone, my voice. Mum was just everything, and she passed away August 30th, so it hasn't been too long, probably about 7 months. Every single day, is not the same, and life will never be the same. Yeah. Life sucks without her, but I'm making the most of it because, on her deathbed at the Peter Mac Hospital, she said, when I said to her, I said, "How do I live without you, Mum? How do I go on?" And she said, "You will, because you're strong." She said, "But please, promise me this." I said, "What?" She said, "Keep following your dreams. Keep, going overseas, doing your interviews. Keep promoting your boxing shows. Keep doing your podcast. Keep doing everything you love, and keep making me proud. Please don't go down the wrong path." Because she was worried that I'd be because I'm a very emotional person, up and down, you know what I mean? And, I do have a bit of a temper, I'm not going to sugarcoat things. I'm not a saint. But, I mean, I'm a good person, but I'm not a saint. And the thing is, she was worried about me going down that. I think she was worried about me resenting the world and being angry and going through down that path. But so when she told me that, I've held that like nothing else. So a week later, I held her hand when she took her last breath, and my partner was by my side, every night, and obviously, and a good family friend of ours as well. And then I obviously had my time, and we took her back to Tasmania. We had a big funeral because she was so loved by everyone. Like, you can say this about your mum, and you should speak good about your mum, but my mum, when you talk about selfless people, it's her. Everything for everyone else, not herself. For everyone. Whether it was her mother, her sisters, dad, she doted on me, his nieces, strangers. Like, I got all these people messaging me on Facebook after that saying, "Hi, Grant, you don't know me, but your mum, one day I didn't have money at Coles for my groceries. She got it for me. Hey, Grant,
wow, really?
You don't know me. I had no taxi fare. Your mum got it for me."
Oh, my goodness.
And
what a legacy to leave
And
behind.
I used to pull Mum up when I was living in Port Melbourne. I said, "Well, Mum," she used to give money to the homeless. I'll be there talking, because I've got no sympathy for anyone. You make your own life. So if you're on the street, you're on the street for a reason. I'm not. There's no pity. I'm not saying I'm there, but for me, you make your own life. Okay, so that's it. I used to say, "Mum, don't talk to them." She goes, "Son, everyone deserves a bit of luck sometimes, or a bit of something." She goes, "Let me do what I do. Don't tell me what to do." I say, "Okay, Mum," but that was her. Yeah. And she was just so amazing. The greatest person I've ever known, a true angel, Cheryl Brown. I'm trying to fight back tears because I don't want to cry on the show. But look, it's still very raw for me. Yeah, but everything I do now is for her. And I'm not saying it as a cliche. I'm not saying it to score points or sound like this on this fantastic guy. Everything I do now is to honour my mum and my dad as well, because my dad was my hero. He passed away 6 years ago, 2019, so before COVID. Everything I do now, this, which I'm going to talk about a bit later, this tour I'm doing with Terence Crawford, the trips to Saudi 4 times I've been flown over there to interview the who's who. You know, Oscar De La Hoya, Fury, Bivol, Usyk, Roy Jones Jr., everyone. Everything I do now is to honour them and to honour my mum's promise. I raised 10 grand for the Peter Mac Hospital when I had Anthony Mundine fight on my last show. He come out of retirement and done a charity match for Prince Bunjaku. That was only in March. And they done an exhibition fight. The show was in honour of my mother. And I gave what I'd done, my word. I gave $10,000 to Peter Mac Hospital, and you know it was on the news and all that, and they really appreciated it. It was in my mum's name, the cheque, because everything I do now is for her. Everything I do. She's watching me. I'm held accountable every day now. I can't F up.
You can't.
So I'm held accountable.
Yeah.
Because I know all she wanted in my life was me to be good, me to be happy, you know. As like she said too, she said, you know, with my fiance, she said, don't lose her. You know, she's a good one. So everything I do now, I've got to be in my best behaviour, literally. Yeah. And it's a bit annoying, man, because sometimes I'm a bit of a lad. Sometimes I like to break free, but I really got to, because I'm held accountable, and that's it. And she's been working her magic from up there, I'll tell you now, because things, since she passed, opportunity after opportunity, I'm going to touch wood, I don't want to jinx it, opportunity keeps coming my way. Where I'm now in boxing internationally is where I want to be, but more. Like there's more to come. Yeah. So anyone out there, you know, like any of my haters back in Tassie, I feel sorry for you because more is coming, guys. Watch the channel, stay tuned, because I'm on a road to huge things. Like what is success, but bigger success. And I'm not boasting, but I'm saying that what I say, I do. And I'm just on this road. I'm on this one-track journey to greatness.
And the reason I was asking about like your relationship with mum and how you were close, and because usually people that have this amount of discipline and drive and determination usually come from a traumatic childhood. Like they've got one parent that, you know, did them wrong, or they had some kind of trouble in their teenage years, whatever it is. But you've had 2 really strong parents there, and just like, what a blessing for you to grow up to be where you're at now with this mindset. And you've had 2 amazing supports there. You're not taking it for granted. You're not just going, well, I was the one that got everything. You're not, you know, just sort of, I guess, taking advantage of it. So
Look, I haven't got that story like a lot have, and a lot of my friends have that. I mean, I've got some close friends that, geez, we wish we had the parents you had, because my parents were, everyone said they want to come to my house, and we never had money. Like, I mean, put it this way, it's like I didn't know we weren't rich, because like, you know what I mean, I just had that love, and I'm an only child, but we're from, you know, a Battler neighbourhood, Mornington, Moraine, where all my family grew up, and you know, rough suburb, like lot of knockarounds, like, you know, that's the term we use, Aussie lingo, knockarounds, a lot of, you know, it was a rough time, you know what I mean? And like, you know, and there was obviously, but like just the love from my parents, look, that's worth $1 billion. So I guess I was rich in love, and all that, and you know, and I could always talk to mum, and there was things I couldn't tell dad. So mum knew everything, nothing. I always explain this, right? I never do this, but it's a term how close we are. If I ever killed someone, mum would help me dispose of the body. That's it. Say no more. Say no more. That's the only way I can get through everyone. That's how close.
That's a good way to put it. I'll tell that to my kids.
It is, and that's it. And
if you ever kill someone,
and
I'll
I said
help
that at the funeral. I said at the funeral, and people, you know, like, had a chuckle, but it was true, you know, and you know, so I never had that story. But look, I still grew up in a rough neighbourhood. I still had to fight. I was a little redheaded, freckle-faced kid.
Red hair.
So I got, I was a ranger. So I got picked on, and I had to fight. But the thing about me, lucky enough, I knew how to fight from the age of 5. So look, you know, there's still, I had to earn everything I got. Also, too, growing up in my neighbourhood, Moraine, a lot of drugs. So most people look up to their older cousins. And I'm not disrespecting my older cousins. I love my older cousins, and some aren't here now and some are. But there was a lot of drugs back in the 80s, yeah? So that, when I was growing up, I was like a kid in the 80s. You know, I was born in 78. So, like, there was a lot of drugs, and a lot of my older cousins were doing drugs, selling drugs. So I was around that. So where you look up to your cousin, I didn't look up to, I thought, nah, that's not the life I want. And I knew that I was better than my surroundings. Not saying I'm better than everyone I grew up with, but I'm just saying I knew that there was more for me. Most people just, this is it. You buy the house that your mum and dad had. You settle with the one partner. Keep the first job you got after high school, and that's it. And look, that's fine. If you love that life, that's great. Wasn't for me. I had ambitions of seeing the Roman Colosseum. Tick. I had the vision of going to New York. Tick. Vegas, Budapest, Russia, multiple times of Russia in the Kremlin. Tick. I've done the Dracula's Castle, the Legend of Dracula in Romania, up in Transylvania. Tick.
That's so cool.
Chechnya. Like all these people don't go to because they're too scared. We just go to Bali because it's safe. I've been to Chechnya in December, Grozny. I met President Kadyrov, who's Putin's right-hand guy, one of the most feared men around. Like he governs the country with power. I respect him. Give me a big hug. I had to get through 50 guys that would shoot you on the spot, but I did it. With my best mate, Wayne Howlett. We were there together. No one goes to Chechnya.
No.
No one goes to Chechnya. But
I don't know anybody that's been.
Thank you. Well, now you do.
Now I do.
Best time ever. Beautiful, safe country.
So let me ask about this absolute legend that you have coming down. How the hell did you meet him?
Well, in December, Terence Crawford. A little bit about Terence. He's from Omaha, Nebraska. He's a 4-division world champion. He's undefeated, I think 43-0. He has been undisputed in 2 weight divisions. Undisputed means you got all the belts, which is very rare. We met at the WC convention in Hamburg, Germany. So that tour I told you about, I went from Russia to Chechnya, to Hamburg, Germany, to Denmark, back to Germany, to Dubai and to Saudi.
Okay.
So I met Terence Crawford at the WC convention, which is pretty much the main world title belt. They do a convention every year. So they were going to an orphanage of German kids that all lived on a campus, all these orphans, right? And so Billy Dibb, one of Australia's greatest fighters, Blair Cobb, Sky Nicholson, another great Australian fighter, but a lot of internationals like Roberto Duran, Lennox Lewis, Badou Jack, all these legends are going into this minivan. Well, there was a few minivans going to this orphanage. Anyway, so I'll see you later. And they said, Tassie, you're coming. I said, I'm not in that league with them people. They said, no, you fought professionally, you're coming. I'm like, wow, and I thought, hang on, I don't deserve to be around these because these guys are the who's who, So I'm sitting next to Bud and Blair Cobbs and we're just talking about Australia.
That's so cool.
Talking about everything, and then we go to the orphanage and we take some kids on the pads, we're giving them hats, we're making these kids like life and so happy. And I got a little Aussie chant going with them. I got a video of it. Anyway, then again, back in the mini van with Bud. So we're just talking, getting on, and we swapped numbers, and Hamburg was pretty boring. So we just he's like, do you want to go to the mall, go to the shops? I go, yeah. So we're hanging out, we're going to the mall, we're getting lunch, and people
were pinching yourself at this point?
Hey?
Were you pinching yourself?
Yeah, I was.
What the hell is happening?
Yeah, Terence Crawford, the man, the undisputed king. And real down-to-earth guy, just one of the lads, just a real no entourage with him, just really really just unbelievable person. Anyway, and people started recognising him coming over, wanting to get photos, and he's great with that. But I said, look, guys, we're eating lunch, and can you come back a bit later? And so I was he goes, like my security. And I remind him of a guy that grew up with, a white guy called Grover Wiley, who was a boxer, who was the last man to defeat the great Julio Cesar Chavez. And he rang this guy up and he goes, man, I met the Aussie version of you. This guy's he's just confident. He's a bit nutty. He's a bit out there and a bit of a goer. He'll throw down if he has to. And so we just clicked, man, swapped numbers, kept in touch. Then we hooked up again, meet up again in Saudi at one of the big fights over there. Yep. I think it was Fury Usyk or Bivol Beterbiev too. And then we started FaceTiming each other, and I FaceTimed on New Year's Eve. And he got one of the biggest boxers in the world, and he was at Coles getting groceries for his kids on his own.
Wow.
Where Floyd Mayweather walks around with 150 kilo security guards. This guy's different. But anyway, I said, how about coming to Australia? He said, look, I'm about to announce the Canelo fight, which is the biggest fight of the decade. September 13th, he fights Canelo in Vegas on Netflix. I think they're going to do something like, I don't know, ridiculous numbers in the millions. And if he wins, if he beats Canelo, he'll be the third time undisputed, the only male boxer to do so. So he said, look, I can come down the dates of the 26th of May to the 31st. So bang, he's coming. Flights are booked. He arrives in Australia on Monday the 26th. We've got 2 days on the Gold Coast in Brisbane. Then we go to Melbourne. So he's here on the 28th and 29th. And then we go to Sydney 30 and 31st. And I've got my big gala VIP intimate dinner with Terence Crawford on the 29th at 8 p.m. at the Melbourne Pavilion in Kensington, where I've got other Australian legends, Danny Green, Anthony Mundine, Billy Dibb, Barry Michaels, Michaels Raffa, who he had on recently, Joel Camilleri, I think Wayne Carey, Sammy Newman. So we've got some of the greats, of football and boxing going to be there, and it'll be the best time to be able to listen to Terence talk about his career. I'm going to interview him. It's going to be a bit of a couch setup, bit of an Oprah Winfrey style.
Yep.
And I'm going to ask him about his career, ask him how he got to the top, talk about the potential, the fight with Canelo, what it means to him. And then people can do a meet and greet and get a photo, have a 3-course meal, 3-hour drink package, and they could be around the one and only Terence Bud Crawford, which I've named Undisputed. So I can't believe it. People are saying, how did you get him here? He's on the eve of the biggest fight in the last decade, biggest fight of his career. How did you get him here? And I said, well, we're friends. I've done an interview with Fox Sports recently. They said, how'd you snag him? I said, I didn't snag him. We've got a friendship. And at the end of the day, the guy's keeping his word to me. So it's pretty surreal. It's only the start of things, but it's going to be cool. So we're going to be cruising around for 6 days and taking to see koala bears, kangaroos, and it's going to be pretty cool.
That sounds incredible. And the fact that you are able to, like as a podcaster, not only bring him down, but do this on a stage.
Yeah.
And can people ask questions as well? So will you
There'll be a Q&A.
There will be a Q&A.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So after we finished talking about his illustrious career and how because he got shot when he was like in his teens by a gang. So like Omaha, Nebraska was no joke, So he got out of you might say got out of the hood, and then he's under the bright lights of Vegas, beating Errol Spence for his second undisputed title. Now he's fighting Canelo. So there's a big story there. So after that, they can ask questions. Yeah. And I mean, it's going to be cool. And having Anthony Mundine and Danny Green there, today is their 90th anniversary of their first fight. Still the biggest record fight on pay-per-view in Australian history. Just spoke to Greeny and Mundine both today. I spoke to both of them. They're pumped to come down. So to have them there as well, it's really going to be a great night. And I just hope that everyone enjoys it. There's still tickets available. Just contact me either on Instagram or Facebook. But they can DM me, but there's only limited tables left because it's almost sold out. So, yeah.
So what would somebody do to book? So you said DM you.
Grant Tassie Brown on Instagram.
So Grant Tassie Brown on Instagram.
DM me and you can buy a full table or you can buy a couple of seats, but they're all table seating.
Yeah. What's the food going to be like?
Have 3-course, top food. Top notch. Yeah.
Good. I can imagine.
My partner's Maltese, so she's going to make sure the food is. She's going to check over the menu.
That's one of the most important things.
She's
food.
Yeah. Well, the food will be good. Yeah. So I'm just look, and Mum's looking down. Mum's looking down, smiling. My good friend Wayne Howlett, my best friend, he said the other day, and I said, "Oh, Mum would have, loved this." She said, "Well, she wouldn't have been surprised because she knows what you can do. When you put your mind to something, there's nothing." I mean, as I said, like when I tell people, and look. I'm the sort of guy, my personality, either love me or hate me. I'm very outspoken and I pull you up on things that I don't care. My partner always tries to say, look, that probably didn't need to be. So I'll say anything. If I was in America, I'll be sitting right next to Trump right now. If I'm in Russia, I'll be with Putin. And I will meet Putin one day. I met Kadyrov, so I'll meet Putin one day. And people say, well, what do you want to meet Putin for? Well,
got your list.
I love Russia. Russia's my second home besides Australia. Yeah.
What nationality is your missus?
She's Maltese.
Maltese, you said.
Yeah, I'm going there for the first time end of August.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, so this VIP Gala Dinner.
Yep.
29th of May.
Yes.
8 p.m. start.
Yes.
At the Melbourne Pavilion.
Melbourne Pavilion in Kensington. There's limited tables available, so get in quick because I know once he lands in Australia on the Gold Coast, we're doing an interview with Fox Sports and there'll be the Telegraph, the Bulletin, there'll be social media. I know once he's in the country, people will go bananas once they actually see him in the country. So I know Australians are known for leaving things the last minute, but don't.
You can not with this one.
Don't want to miss this one.
No, well, I literally caught up with Nick Solomos last night. And he's like, I've got a table. He's like, it's going to be a massive event.
Shout out to Darren McGims, Nick Solomos, mate. What a great guy.
Yeah.
He sponsored my Fight Cancer event in March. He was the main sponsor, and he's helped me with this as well. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
So he's there, and look, the who's who. I think I'm going on Sammy Newman and Wayne Carey's podcast this week.
Nice.
As well to pump it. But I mean, look, it's just going to be a great night. I'm trying to bring these things to Australian boxing. Boxing's my life. You'll never get anyone talk about boxing so passionately.
I can see that.
It's all I know. If I would have applied anything that I did to boxing, I could have been an engineer, I could have been a scientist, I could have been a brain surgeon, but I chose boxing. But if I gave that passion to anything, it's just my life, the history, the past, the present, the future, everything. And the fact that I'm rolling with my heroes now, Oscar De La Hoya, Roy Jones Jr., Antonio Tava, Terence Bud Crawford, it's unbelievable, you know what I mean? So this is not this is only the start.
It is only the start.
I'm looking at bringing the WC convention to Australia in Sydney next year. It's first time ever. And I'm talking to people about that, Marisa Suleiman.
Yep.
But we'll start with Bud, Terence Bud Crawford, the one and only, in the flesh, live. And if he beats Canelo for the third time undisputed, he's going down in the GOAT conversation. Sugar Ray Leonard, Muhammad Ali, Sugar Ray Robertson, Roberto Duran. He's going in that conversation. So you got a chance to meet him, guys.
I know.
Up close and personal. Shake his hand, have a chat. It's going to be intimate. Nothing will be rushed. Get a photo. Ask him a question or two. So
I'm gonna have. Well, I'll be there.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
I'm definitely gonna have to put in a few questions.
Yeah,
there.
and
amazing.
It's going to be really good. So I'm really pumped.
So
I'm proud to have brought this to Australia, and I'm looking up to the heavens. Mum and Dad, they knew when I was born that I was different. I'm a different kind of beast to most people.
Yeah.
And as I said, take me or not, I don't really care.
Who cares? You're doing big things.
Well, when Usain Bolt's crossing the finish line in the 100-metre Olympic final, he's not looking around to see who's coming second.
No.
And as I said, I just believe in me. And I love everybody. I want everyone to do good. I'm very big ambassador, for cancer. I'm going to keep raising money for cancer charities and organisations because, it's took both my parents.
Yep.
Changed my life completely. But I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing and being out there for the kids. Stay away from drugs, guys. Stay away from negative influences. Don't be a sheep. Be a leader. Don't drink. Don't smoke. Don't gamble. Follow your dreams in anything. Sport's a great way to do it. Get in the gym. Get in a footy organisation, hockey, soccer, something that allows you to not have too much time on your hands. Don't be stuck inside playing computer games and doing TikToks and all these, what we talk about, this whole trying to destroy masculinity. Get there and do something, guys. And trust me, your life will be a lot better if you have a passion or a love or a dream. That took 100%. Me from possibly going down the wrong way in Tasmania, which is now I've been to 18 countries. Now I've got stories that people dream about.
And you're bringing down Bud Crawford.
Crawford.
That's just amazing.
Pound for pound, number one, future GOAT, undisputed, Terence Bud Crawford.
That's it.
I want to can you put on one of those little fake ovations? Yeah. You know what I mean? So
that's cool. Well, thank you. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you talking about it and your life and just hearing your story even about with mum and dad and how you've grown up and where you're on. You're on your journey for insane things. So it's been such an honour to sit with you.
Thank you for having me. I said shout out for mum and dad. God bless. Everything I do is for them. Shout out to Tasmania, all my people there, my fans and my haters. You
love the haters.
You're all helping me grow. My brother Wayne Howlett, my best friend, and obviously my beautiful fiance.
Yeah.
So
what's her name?
And my stepkids. Huh?
What's your fiance's name?
JC.
Yeah. Cool.
So I'm just keeping it rolling.
Love that.
Just living life and
love it.
Yep. So thanks. It's been awesome.
Yeah. No, it's been really good. Thank you.
Thank you.